Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Welcome to the Apollo Audio Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm producer and engineer Martin Lumsden, and I'm with, as always,
Billy Hills, owner, guitarist. I said this week.
Your introductions are so good. We're here. What did I say last time? Get in. It sounds unnatural now. That's weird. As always, we're at Apollo. Well, not as always, but pretty much always, we're at Apollo Audio.
Have we ever done it elsewhere?
I've done a couple of online ones.
Oh, okay.
With guests. We haven't had any guests so far this series.
Oh,
Get
no.
some guests
We're
on
lacking.
the podcast. We had guests in here. That was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done a couple of guests online.
Yeah.
Which we might have to redo again, because I've got a couple of our artists who've got albums coming out soon.
Yes, who we got?
Dan Thomas, who recorded his album here. That's coming out in April.
Cool.
Launch show at the Portland Arms in Cambridge.
Oh, it's a great venue.
It's a good venue.
I've got a 30th there on Saturday.
Have you?
Yes.
He's
I
playing
might
on the
will.
30th of April, which is...
Oh, wow. There we go.
What a coincidence.
Meant to be.
Yeah, Portland Arms is a good venue, yeah.
Really cool venue.
But yeah, album's coming out soon, so that's exciting.
Yes,
And
nice.
yeah, he's been a guest on the podcast before. Might have to get him back on again.
What album did he do?
We did Fleetwood Mac Rumours,
Oh, cool.
one of his favourite albums of all time. Top 10 on the Rolling Stone 500
That makes sense.
list as well, so that was a good one to do. The Brits were last Saturday.
Yes,
Did
in
you watch it?
Manchester.
Yeah, in Manchester.
saw clips of
First
it.
time out of London for ages, yeah.
I saw clips of it, didn't watch it, no.
In fact, I think it's the first time out of London ever.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you go once?
No. I have tried to tell
Yeah.
that story very badly. No, what I've said is I only ever want to go to an award ceremony if I'm invited, not if I have to pay.
Oh, yeah,
So I
yeah.
want to be nominated for an award
Yeah,
or
yeah,
part
yeah.
of an industry group or something like that,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'll go and hang out or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said I nearly went because I got sort of friendly with a cake company who were catering the after party.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought I might be able
Does that
to
count?
get in there alongside the cakes.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
So
And then we were talking about that, and then Miles, who used to be on the podcast, he ended up at the
Grammys. That's insane, isn't it?
Anyway, we weren't in Manchester at the Brits
Not this year.
Maybe next time. Yeah, you caught up a bit on socials, did you?
I saw Olivia Dean, obviously big winner. I saw Bez and Sean Ryder from the Happy Mondays.
Yeah.
I don't know, were they nominated or just there because it's in Manchester?
I think it was because it was Manchester. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a sort of Manchester represents type thing.
Yeah, and then loads of people I just didn't recognise on the red carpet. I had
Yes.
no idea about, I'm just surprised about how probably out of touch I am.
Well, I
probably
wonder
pop music-wise.
if it is out of touch or whether it's an indication of how dispersed the music business is these days.
Yeah.
And I think we've said before, the Brits is definitely rewarding commercial success rather than critical success,
Yeah.
although that, the two don't need to be necessarily separate.
Yeah.
But they're definitely looking at the more commercially successful end of the acts. And quite rightly, from both sides of that coin, I think, both critically and commercially, Olivia Dean basically won everything she was up for, didn't she? And, had an amazing year. Success in the UK, massive hits. I think I read somewhere that if it wasn't for the rules restricting the number of songs that you can have on the charts, because they won't allow more than 4 to qualify or something like that.
What, on the charts?
On the singles chart.
Really?
Of the streaming charts.
Oh, wow.
That you can only have 4. It's just so you don't end up with Taylor Swift's numbers 1 to 12
Yeah.
on the chart. So they have a rule that disqualifies. But apparently, if it wasn't for that, Olivia Dean would have had about 7 or 8 tracks in the top 10 all consecutively at the same time.
That's mental.
And only didn't because they're disqualified because they disqualify them.
Wow.
So, point being,
Yeah.
everyone's listening to that album, even
Yeah.
if you're not one of those everyone people.
Yeah.
Trust us.
Yeah.
Everyone's listening.
Yeah.
Or they're playing, and we've said this before, even if you're not listening to it yourself, you're going to hear it in pubs, you're going to hear it in shops,
Yeah.
you hear it everywhere. Everyone's got it on a playlist, well, at least one of the songs. So yeah, massive
What I
success.
liked about her performance as well when she did it, she's still using like a live band. I remember seeing her on Jules Holland on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And they're all such tight musicians and that as well. And she's having fun on stage and she's
She
engaging.
really did look like she was
Yeah.
having fun. And a live vocal.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good live vocal,
Yeah.
but definitely a live vocal.
You could tell her because she was sort of singing, like coming away from the mic slightly.
You
as
could
she was
hear
doing
that,
it,
but what was also nice, even though she's really good, you could hear the variation in the pitch.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't perfect.
that's what you want.
But that's what you want.
Yeah.
It was so near to perfect. It
Yeah.
just shows how damn good she is.
Yeah.
But also, it didn't need any help to be that good, and you could tell. And I loved that.
Yeah. I think
It
she's
was
got such a
fantastic.
great distinctive voice, and I think you hear a lot of pop artists now, and you can't really distinct them, but you can with her.
Yeah, that's a lot. I've seen a lot of conversation around that idea of things being indistinguishable. For everything sounds the same. There's like this is what works on playlists. This is what works on streaming platforms. So everyone's aiming at the commercial end. This is not true, of course. We know there's a lot of creative art out there that isn't necessarily massively commercially successful or getting huge streaming numbers and all that kind of stuff. But those sort of major, for want of a better word, major label artists or those big streaming numbers or those artists with social media profiles, they all sound the same.
Yeah.
Because
There's a reason, and that's not us trying to be like, oh, we don't like pop music.
No.
It's a formula that works, isn't it?
It's a formula, and I remember Warren Hewitt, who some people may have seen online. He's produced Like a Pro as his online YouTube channel. I remember him saying, "There's a very easy reason why everything sounds the same these days, and it's because it can." And I thought, that's a weird thing to say, but I realised what he meant was that in the past, if you heard a sound that you liked, the best thing you could do is try and replicate it. So say in the days of the 60s or the 70s, if you heard a drums sound or something like that, or a production technique, you'd go, I wonder how they did that. I'll try and figure it out. So you would try and figure it out. And you might get near, but you wouldn't get the same, and you might accidentally do something different.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's like, what plug-in did you use?
Yeah.
I'll just put that plug-in on.
Yeah.
What vocal chain did you use? I'll just use that vocal
Yeah.
chain. So it's too easy to replicate, and because it's easy, you just do it.
Yeah, especially with AI now. Well, I don't want to go into AI again,
No,
but
no.
like you can just. It's been around for years. I remember when I first did my recording when I was like 14, going to somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, we want to sound like this."
Yeah.
And on the master chain or the mix chain, so what track do you want to sound like? And it analyses a song, say by Lilo Atlantis, and it will show you like the peaks and the troughs in the
Yep.
song, and it'll give you that. And that's been around for years now. That's before AI. It's just like analysing the sort of song.
Yeah.
And so it's been about in the digital age anyway. But now it's even this next level. It's too perfect almost, isn't it?
I think it's a really interesting framework. I'm trying to bring this into my own workflow recently, is that I have, for good reasons, and I think people used to recommend this, say use a reference track when you're doing mixing. So you get that, what sound are you aiming for? Or use a reference track before you start tracking. I think there is a good reason to do that, which is what kind of vibe do you want? What kind of area do you want to get into? But one of the things I'm trying to remember now is like, after you've got that kind of general idea, ditch it. Don't try to replicate it.
Okay.
Because otherwise you just end up replicating it.
Yeah,
Whereas if you just kind of have that general vibe, that general sense in mind, then you're giving your creativity room to work and actually come up with something that's maybe different and a bit new. Even if it's in the same ballpark, you might push those boundaries a little further rather than trying to contain yourself in what worked before.
But I think, I know we said about before, like when you go to record, have a spreadsheet ready with all these different bits.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to sound like a band, but like when we're recording next month, I've got an idea for a drum sound. I want it to sound like Smashing Pumpkins, that part there. I want the guitar to sound like that bit there. And then you come with and then it becomes one. So you can have a load of, you don't want to sound like one band, you want to sound like you, don't you? But you can have a load of different influences as well that come into it.
But the thing is, it's knowing what you're aiming for. I guess the thing I would say about that is, where your starting point is, right? I want to sound like this Smashing Pumpkins thing. Get that going, but then once you're kind of going, I think that the problem becomes when you keep checking back to see if it's right against the Smashing Pumpkins thing. Whereas if you've started with that intention in mind, you go, that's cool. And you work on it, it's like, and I still think
My
that's
version
cool.
of that.
Don't worry about whether it replicates it anymore. That's the bit that I'm sort of starting to think. Don't keep checking back to the thing to go like, oh no, it needs to sound more like that. If you like it, stick with it, even if it's not exactly the same as the thing you're aiming for.
Because then you become the new niche then, I suppose, don't you?
Well, yeah, because it's possible. It's the same as you said. You can plug your guitar into an amp modeler now, and you can literally load up Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, I did one yesterday.
Amp rig.
John Mayer's just released one through Archetype, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just known for like these, like, delicious guitar tones.
Yeah.
And now you can sound like him without, like, it's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. There's still a lot of it's going to be driven from the performance itself, right? You know, how you play. But like, is that easy? How do I get John Mayer's guitar tone?
I don't have to
load up John Mayer's guitar tone.
Yeah, I don't have to pay thousands of pounds on amps and pedals.
Yeah.
Obviously you have a decent guitar, so it sound a lot better.
Yeah.
And the playing, but you're halfway there with that more than you were before.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is quite scary, isn't it?
It's too easy. Even if you love that sound, take it as inspiration, not as replication.
Definitely.
Inspiration, not replication. There's
who
the
else?
subtitle for this episode.
Who else won at the Brits then?
Wolf Alice, I think, won, which I was pleased to see. And they, harking back to what we were talking about last week on the podcast, they mentioned the problem of small venues, losing small venues, and we need to try and do something about that. So
there's business rates relief for venues now coming in.
Is it coming in? Okay.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But
recording studios are still excluded.
Yeah, and even though we do gigs here regularly, apparently I've talked to council about it. It has to be your only thing that you do.
Okay.
Which is really annoying.
Very annoying. Sam Fender, that song, because I remember you mentioned that ages ago as well, that Sam Fender with Olivia Dean, Rain Me In.
Oh.
And it was that version that won, because it's obviously there is a version of that Sam Fender did by himself, but that won, whatever it was, best song. International artist Rosalia. I don't know if you saw that performance. She did a live performance. That album was one of those highly recommended or top 10 best albums of the year last year. It's called Lux, the album, and she sings, I think over the course of that album, she sings in 8 different languages.
Wow.
She did.
Is that cool or is that just showing off?
I think it's a bit of both. But she did a performance at the Brits, which included a surprise guest appearance by Bjork.
Oh, wow. She didn't
Who
get out much,
arrived and sang a bit. And I don't think anyone expected her to be there. She suddenly popped up on stage looking very Bjorkish.
Yeah. Didn't want to be there.
I'm going to look like Bjork, but not in a way that you know that it's definitely me. It could be someone pretending to be me, but it is actually me.
Yeah.
She had a mask on and a
Was she singing in
dress
Icelandic?
And all sorts of stuff. No, I think she sang her bit in English. That's a good question. I don't know.
I saw there was a video, went viral, but it was planned, so it sort of took it away. There was a band that played. And
that was Somber.
And then they got pushed off the stage or whatever.
Yeah.
What was the band?
Somber. It's a solo artist. I think we've spoken about, again, another one of those big recommended albums of last year. I actually did have a listen to that. I quite liked it. It was a bit like Foster the People type sound.
Oh, we did talk about it.
But yeah, he's got a song called Home Wrecker, and the stunt on his live performance was they had a faked stage invasion by a sort of stalker type thing, which all looked like it was, oh my God!
Yeah.
But it was PR, it was a stunt.
It wasn't quite Madonna falling down the stairs.
It wasn't that.
The best.
It wasn't quite Jarvis Cocker and Brit Awards with Michael Jackson that we spoke about before.
That's up there with is it Gillian McKeith fainting at I'm a Celebrity? I think that's the best live TV moment. You watched that? Just pretending to faint.
Depending.
The amount of times I rewound that. Insane.
Depending.
Did Geese get anything?
Geese won Best International Group.
That album's grown on me.
Yeah.
And the more people I talk to, like the Old Man Junior boys were really into that as well.
Yeah, really it's definitely a one that's making an impact. Salt won Best R&B Act.
See Mark Ronson there as well?
Mark Ronson won Outstanding Contribution to Music.
That's fair enough.
Noel Gallagher won Songwriter of the Year, which we were talking about. Was that a sort of lifetime type award? Apparently not. Apparently it was in representation of his songwriting work last year. Which, as he said, I haven't written any songs for 2 years, so that's weird.
What? Oh, this is just annoying.
I think it's partly. But having said that, he had massive success off the back of his songwriting last year. So I think, again, from a commercial point of view, I think you can.
The year 1995, it makes sense.
Yeah, it would make more sense then. But yeah, I suppose deserved. And again, the Manchester connection probably helped.
Yeah, exactly. So Bez didn't get anything.
Bez didn't get anything.
Best
maracas, best dancer.
I saw some stat going through it. Do you know what song got the most Grammy nominations?
No.
I think it was last year or whatever. I don't think it got the most awards ever. It was that They Not Like Us, that Kendrick Lamar song.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which I think is an awful song. I cannot stand that song. Am I deaf sometimes? How can taste be that? Was
that the diss track?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Did They Like Us? And I was like, oh. I really don't get it.
Not your best work, Kendrick.
Yeah, no, try harder.
According to the Grammys, maybe it is. I think I should note one of the outstanding things that occurred was Producer of the Year was won by Pink Pantheress.
Oh, cool.
First time a female has ever won Producer of the Year.
So I didn't know she'd done like more behind the scenes stuff. What artists did she work
I think
with?
she kind of says that she thinks of herself more as a producer than an artist.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think that's wonderful and also a bit sad that it's the first time.
Yeah.
But that's great. Hopefully the first of many.
Yeah.
The Music Producers Guild are giving the Outstanding Contribution Prize at this year's MPG Awards to the 1975.
What have they done this year or last year?
Well, it's a Outstanding Contribution Prize.
But it's just in general then.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It says recognising the band's influence on modern music production, because it's a Music Producers Guild, right? So George Daniel and Matt Healy, increasingly central production roles across 5 consecutive UK #1 albums. The 1975 have fundamentally reshaped the relationship between artist and producer in modern music, and have approached production not simply as a technical process, but as a core creative discipline, developing a sonic identity that's unmistakable, ambitious, and deeply influential.
I could definitely hear that. And I was going to bring them up later, because the album we're reviewing, I heard some of the production techniques that they used in that. So I was going to bring them up. So
very good.
Thank you for that. Is that a good transition?
It all comes back together. This week's album, because we're right at the cutting edge of the zeitgeist, we've decided that we'll go totally where what everyone's talking about right now in 2024. Two years behind schedule. We went for Charli XCX and her Brat album.
Well, we can't do it because she's got the film coming out, hasn't she?
And she's just done the soundtrack for Wuthering Heights as well, isn't she? So she's right back in the currency. But we thought we'll go for the big impact album, which was 2024.
Try to get some more views.
Yeah, that's right. Tag it.
But have you worked with her before?
I have not worked with her. I have met her, but she was only, I think, 15 at the time. She was not currently known as Charli XCX at that point. She came to the studio with her dad because they were looking for producers and people to collaborate with and work with. And she grew up in Stevenage, I think.
Oh, wow.
So we were local, which is presumably why it came to us. This is going back a long time. 2011, 12 maybe? Something like that. No, it must be 2010, 2011, whenever it was. So 15 years or whatever. We had a meeting, and that was it. It was only when pops up later on, and you go, holy crap! That's Charlotte. That we met at the studio. So no, we never did any work with her, but we did have a sort of initial exploratory meeting, which never went anywhere. Since then, obviously things changed a lot, and is one of the biggest influential artists, I guess.
Even in America as well.
Yeah.
Listening to it, I'm so surprised by that. I'm so surprised at how many songs I just knew anyway, just by living life and just hearing it, and just I was on adverts and everything. And then sort of delving deeper and looking at Spotify, how many other songs I knew that weren't on the album, but just in her discography.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was her. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a very British sounding, obviously her voice, which doesn't always translate to America.
Yeah.
And the sound of it, because it's like a sort of techno dance sort of album, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And that to be like a #1 massive, I know dance music is massive, but to get that pop crossover, to be as big as it is, I was really, really, again, how that translated over into America. Like, even like Callum Harris was like, talking about it at the time.
Oh, well, I think that was less to do with the music and more to do with the culture, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But everything was Brat in 2024. Everything was lime green. So that was a bit of bandwagon hopping, I think.
Yeah.
But so much in the culture that you could do that, and it would make sense. Someone trying to go for the presidency can link with that, and not have people go, what?
Yeah.
They go, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I get it, and I don't. Like, I went into it going like, I really want to try and like this. Like, I like her as a person. I think she's cool. I think she's funny, and I tell you what, I like how it's different. And I heard a lot of it. I heard how Lily Allen sort of took influence from this album. Some of like the vocal things she was doing, and some of the effects. And again, like the 1975 sort of vocal like auto-tune effect, where it's not auto-tune for because you're a bad singer, but to try and get that sort of shaky vocal sort of thing, that sound,
it's an artistic choice, which is, I think, what they call them, keyboard warriors, and especially post Glastonbury last summer. There's people saying, I can't sing auto-tune. It's like, no, you've missed the point.
Yeah.
It's
an instrument in itself, And what was taken away by it is, she might have songwriters and everything doing the actual beats or whatever.
Yeah.
But I doubt there's someone writing the lyrics for her, because they're so personal and they sound so unpolished, and they sound so like the rhyming couplets aren't there. They're not perfect.
Yeah.
And at first it was a bit like, when you're listening to pop music, it was a bit harsh on the ear at first, because I was like, oh, that doesn't really work. But then it's like, yeah, it does, because it's her sound, and that's what I liked about it. I liked sort of the production is amazing, but her vocals, they're not over polished.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I thought that was cool, and I wasn't expecting that. And this doesn't mean like I don't mean this as a bad thing, I mean it's a compliment. Phoebe Bridgers as well, some of the lyrics are almost like childish in a sense, where they're like, you're just using the words that, you're not overthinking them, you're just writing what you're writing. And that's what one biggest takeaway I took from that was, the under-polishedness.
The under-polishedness. Yeah, I think I was just double checking on the credits here, and you're right. Unlike some, big artists that you'll see these days. Now, this isn't a criticism. This is just the way things are these days, or the way things are presented these days. There's not a huge list of writers on these, nor is there a huge list of producers. It's typically Charli XCX, Finn Keen is on there, and I think there's AJ Cook, I think, is a sort of constant collaborator with her. But you've not got these really long lists of writers. You might have 4 or 5 people credited on some of the songs, or just a couple on some of the songs. So I think you're right. And and just as an aside on that, I've heard people say, that isn't it terrible that everything's done by committee these days, which I don't think is quite right. I think it's just that people actually get credited for the work that they do these days.
Yeah. And I think always in this genre, I don't know Charli XCX, but I don't know if she plays the 808s in this song. In this genre, you are going to have more songwriters than a band or other ones like that, because you've got to have that production. That is that sound. Yeah. And not everyone makes their own beats. She probably did when she was younger, singing to her songs, but for this level, you're going to get collaborators. Yeah. So
it's sort of taking it from idea to completion, isn't it? I imagine that should probably go in with an idea of a rhythm and a melody, or a beat or something like that, and then you're taking that idea and working with collaborators to go like, let's add this sound in, or let's add this rhythm in, or let's use this instrument to build it up. I suspect. Add bits of samples and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, again, anyone who can hold a stage solo. I mean, no, it's like, again, there'll be people who don't like this sort of stuff, but she did an entire set at Glastonbury. Yes, it's backing track, but she can hold that audience on that stage. Yeah. No problem. Just her. And that's a considerable talent.
Yeah. I love it when I saw Eminem. I know he's a solo artist, but especially back then, his earlier stuff was played on guitar and bass and drums, and he brought out a band at Reading. It's like, that's so cool when you do that. But this is a different... There's not much on the album that you could play with I don't want to call it a real instrument.
With a band.
With a band. Yeah. You could play a lot of it on keyboards, but it just wouldn't look the same, would it? I think you've got the production element, she's a dancer, does all this. Yeah. It doesn't need it. So...
It's going to be a different show when you go to see something like that than if you did go to see a show when it's a band. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, massively successful and massively influential. So much of it has become part of the culture and things that I think is partly as well. She, lyrically, she's got the turns of phrases and things that just become part of the culture as well. You go, I've heard that. What does that mean? They're memeable. Is that maybe correct as well? Without having directly listened to this album really before we did this. So many of the songs were familiar to me. That same reason, like you said, I've heard these in whatever environment, whenever playing, and I think they've been, like I said, sampled and played off the back of ads or whatever. Yeah,
it does open really well. To fair, was it 360 the first one?
360, yeah.
I preferred her slow. I loved Sympathy as a Knife and ones like that. I liked it when she could prove it, just not all, because I can. It's like any genre. If you've got an album's worth of it, it can get a bit samey after a while. So especially in this, like, it's upbeat dance all the time. I like the way it did come down, because I got confused with like 360 and another couple that went.
360 and 365 are almost the same backing track, aren't they? Or it's almost like a remix of the previous track. But yeah, I did like "Girls So Confusing," which I noticed you did a version of that later with Lord.
Oh, cool.
Because he did a whole remix album. Because it was a brilliant marketing, and I don't
We listen to another covers album
to
again.
diminish it. Well, I don't mean to diminish this in any way, but she did do brilliant sort of marketing, promotional PR exercise on this album as well. Because you had Brat was the initial album, and then there was Brat, and it's the same, but there's 3 more songs, so it's not. Was the name of the follow-up album. We just had 3 more on it. And then there was another version that was all like remixes of the songs or additional songs. So she did "Girl So Confusing," which was basically about her relationship with Lord.
Yeah,
like saying how it's like we're friends, but we're also competitors, and it feels a bit weird. That was basically what that song was about. And then they did a duet with Lord, and it's kind of saying, "Oh, that's really quite cool," because they kind of both in on it, on the joke. And then there's a track that isn't on this original album, which I love, is a collaboration with, I think it was on the extended version, the one with the 3 songs extra. It's called Guess, which was a collaboration with Billie Eilish.
Oh, cool.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
it's a cracking track.
I've just remembered, because I did reference 1975, and her husband is the drummer of 1975.
That's right.
So that's right. Probably where the influence comes from.
That's right. That would make sense then, wouldn't it?
Apparently he is a massive songwriter for the 1975, which you don't always assume with the drummer, but again, like the production stuff. So I can imagine he was.
Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact, because it sounds like they were getting together when they made this album, like the lyrics and everything.
Yeah. But even like if you're that close, that's not a sort of a direct "I'm contributing," but is an influence, right?
Yeah.
She's got to be exposed to the 1975.
Yeah.
Their music and their culture and all that, but she's going to have been around that vibe. So it's gonna influence you in some way.
I think, as I said, I think the best thing I liked about that album was her lyrics, and it's very autobiographical. Well, I don't think you could sort of take this away and sort of, I relate to this in a sense. You probably could, but it's very, very personal to her and very direct in the stuff she's saying. And I did really like that, and it tells a story, and you can picture it easy. I fell in love with that more than did the actual songs. I think just personality comes across in it, and like the melody and stuff she chooses. I don't think it's not all out pop. It's not like, I think the music in the background is, but her lyrics and melodies she chooses, I don't think they're the easiest to sort of like get into, which is, I think, is cool, and I think that makes it stand out and it's different. And she's just being her and doing what she wants. And again, you can tell in the lyrics, she's got like, this is before she was massive. She was still big, but she's like, I've got one foot in like being in the normal world, and one foot being celebrity. Now she's full on celebrity, isn't she? In there, so you can tell this is a sort of like come of age sort of album, where she did do what she wanted, which I think is cool.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't really sound like anything else. Going back to what we were saying before, it's not been successful by trying to replicate something that already exists. It seems to be driving that. It's more likely that other people are going to try and replicate the Charli XCX sound rather than her try and replicate someone else's sound. I think she does sort of drive that. This is new. This is different.
Yeah,
that's what I seem to get with the vibe. And just like such a massive talent that she clearly has to be able to be creative and also connect on a massive scale, and then also be able to just do her own thing. And collaborate with other people, and sit in the background, and be, write for other people, collaborate with other people. That she's done throughout her career as well.
I don't think it's for me. I won't particularly go back to it. I enjoyed it, but it's just not my sound. Yeah, but I appreciate how it got so big.
Same. There's bits of it that I like. I could pull a track or two off the album and go, I could handle that if it popped up on a playlist. On a regular basis, but the idea of like going back and listening to the album over and over again, same. Not for me. I mean, I don't know about you, but the experience I have regularly on this is like, okay, I've listened to that. Now what do I want to go and listen to next? Now that I've listened to that. And it did drive me back to Billie Eilish album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, which is a couple of years ago. And I hadn't properly done that album that's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, that is much more me. Might not be you, but yeah, that just reminded me that, again, what another brilliant talent she is.
Yeah.
And again, pushing those sounds and being a little bit different, and being very much her and doing what she does. And then it also made me go and talking about Bjork earlier on as well. That was another one where I thought, I just want to go and check out a bit of Bjork.
So I love listening to Bjork. I only know Venus as a boy.
Initial album. Yeah, that debut album.
Yeah.
Sort of, it wasn't her first solo album, but it was her first sort of post-band.
What was that band again? What they called?
The Sugar. Well, she was in multiple bands, but the Sugar Cubes was the big hit band.
Yeah.
She'd had a solo album out when she was 11.
That's insane.
I know.
You would have turned her away.
Definitely. Well, I wouldn't necessarily. It depends what you're singing about.
But yeah, I think I'm surprised. I could have seen this if I listened to this. If I wasn't alive in 2024, I would have thought this had been like a cult album rather than like a worldwide
phenomenon.
I thought it would be like a British sort of club sort of. It's a cool album. Like if you like this, you're into this sort of music. But to reach, we all know how hard it is to break America, and to get that, there must be something that we're not hearing, or just have.
Well, I think it's a good. What I would say is there's something that was more to it, and this is sometimes will sound like an awful thing to say. It's not just about the music.
Yeah,
it's not just about the songs. The songs are good. The creativity behind it is good. The production behind it is excellent. Everything about that is great. Like, as a standalone thing, all these songs and production's good. Yes, they are. But the reason it became a phenomenon was more than that.
Everything.
It was to do with the connection, the positioning, the marketing of, but the title of it, that Brat and the lime green, and what I suppose the context and the message behind that is like what that was saying about positioning herself, but also positioning her fan base. What they connect to, how they think of themselves, how they want to exist in the world.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with that as well, I think. And, that...
Sometimes you just hit a wave, don't you? Like, it's the right time.
But I also don't think that should be underestimated in terms of what it... Because that, to me, is about connection. That's creating a connection. Connection and not catering to your audience, but understanding your audience and feeling connected to your audience. So it's not just I've made some music. It's no, I've got connected. Like I said, there are huge numbers of people who will go and see Charli XCX live, and there are plenty of artists who you might say are in that same genre who wouldn't attract an audience.
No. Yeah,
and there's something about say that whole culture that was connected, and you could say it was brilliant PR, you could say it was brilliant merchandising or whatever. But I think there's something in the background that she's developed in terms of the way that people respond to her as an artist, which goes beyond just music.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that if you are, I think if you're serious about being an artist, I think that's something you have to pay attention to.
Definitely.
And when I say that, I don't mean marketing. I don't mean social media. I don't mean clever posts. I mean your connection with your audience.
And she's still riding that wave now, really, isn't she? To have a film been made about it.
Yeah.
And she's very self-deprecating in the film. I haven't seen it, Charlotte.
It's been described as a mockumentary. It's more like a Spinal Tap thing. She's not playing herself.
No.
She's playing a version of herself.
Yeah. Apparently she goes, Brat's a bit cringe now. Should we stop now? So I think that's quite cool. Apparently Charlotte said it's quite hard watching. It's filmed like it's on like a phone.
Oh yeah.
And it's all very like shaky and like fast. It's like you haven't got any like.
But this is an out in cinemas movie as well, isn't it? It's not like a Netflix like streaming thing.
Yeah.
This is go to the cinema and see Charli XCX taking the piss out of herself.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack to Wuthering Heights as well, which
I'm glad
it was not a hardship to go and listen to this. Let's put it that. We've listened to albums which are like, oh God, I don't know what.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy this and I don't know what to say about it. It was not that. But like you said, it's not something I'm going to go back to over and over. But that's just taste.
If I was really, I can imagine Brat Summer. If I was really, really happy, like sun's shining, and you got like that sort of, you're at a party and that came on, suits it. Doesn't really sort of fit end of February, raining sort of.
That maybe doesn't help.
And it wasn't, it just wasn't the vibe I wasn't feeling at the time. But again,
Wuthering Heights is maybe more in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Windswept moors. It's maybe that kind of thing. We should sum up, shouldn't we? Because we would do. Does it vinyl?
Not for me.
No.
Does it for you?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I can't even think. Is that the sort of thing that you would buy on vinyl?
Does it Bluetooth speaker
probably
at
not.
a party?
It's that, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. it lends itself to that.
I know a couple of people that got it on vinyl, and it's just, I don't know if people put it on, but it's just another cool thing to have.
Yeah, I can see it from that point of view.
Vinyl and haven't listened to it, half of them.
Yeah.
It's just something cool to have, isn't it? It's if you really like it, you want to show people that you like it, rather than just being on your phone. So it's an iconic album. So I think people buy it for that.
That's a really good description, and I think it will be remembered as an iconic album. Yeah, 100%. Good stuff. Okay, that was Charli XCX Brat album. Saying new stuff to check out with Charli XCX. That's why we were talking about it right now. But that's been the big story from the last couple of years. That's about as current as we ever get. Thank you for listening. The Apollo Audio Podcast is on Instagram. You can follow us there, or even message us there if you want to, at Apollo Audio Podcast. Email us, apolloaudiopod@gmail.com. More importantly, find us online, the studio, all the services that we offer for musicians, music people, recording, production, rehearsal, tuition, live events. Come and find us, apollo-audio.co.uk. We'll be back next time.
See you later.
Are you sure you forgive me?